name and address,
and then we can email him.
then we can sort of get. But I can get. They're not always most reliable, but when I search for people,
of all that interest that we have,
I think I'm the email addresses for one.
Yeah, I think they're right. I think that's but I shut that off.
we don't know what
That's one of the
I might have said
the BOD, the insurance.
doesn't matter.
detective business.
What's that?
Private detective.
It's really stupid though.
35,000. That's kind of weird. 27,000.
Yeah, I was looking at some of it.
But anyway,
More things on them.
Oh man, I got tons of those. What these are?
Just that one. This one is it's gotta be on novel now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll probably just like scroll.
anyway, but we haven't.
This is my wife's 70th birthday. I think she was making fun of me. Rightly so.
Right.
635. She found old. When I drink, I do that.
The difference between the 2,048 others, there's 10 lots here that don't pay dues. Some of them don't have a road. There's 8 lots where they don't have a road. And they don't pay dues. And the bank doesn't have, never had any of those 18 lots.
Just a second. All right, lovely. 7 o'clock. Come to order. Let's get this meeting going at 7 o'clock. All right, so done with the neighbors, done talking to the neighbors. Welcome to this board of directors meeting for all of you that are here. You want to do roll call, John?
Sure.
Secretary?
Yep. Okay, Rich Willie,
Here.
Janice Tucker,
Here,
Smiley Burrows.
here.
I'm here, John Scala, Al Morrow,
Here.
and Rod Kindell.
Present.
And Greg is not able to be here.
He's still under the weather.
All right. So we have quorum?
We have 4.
Quorum. All right. In the table in the back, we have a sign up sheet. If you haven't signed up, if you leave it, sign up the sheet. Give it. Yeah. Oh, nobody signed it.
Yeah, there you go.
Give it back for you if you don't think we have it already. Give us a phone number. Give us an email address. Whatever you got. We don't have a lot of those. The agenda is sitting back there. If you didn't get a copy of the agenda, there's some copies back there. There's also a list of the committees that we're trying to fill up, and John will talk about that more later. But yeah, there's a list back there of all the different committees. Oh, sorry. The committees were developed purely based on the membership meeting April 5th. So you'll see the list of committees, and like I said, we need to fill those up. Hold your questions until after the officers' reports, okay, from the 4 of us. So hold your questions until later. There'll be an open question and answer at the end. Each speaker, we had some issues last month, and so each speaker will get 3 minutes to speak, and then we're cutting you off, okay, so we can move on. We just can't get drugged down. So 3 minutes for anyone, including ourselves. All right, so let's get rolling. We have a microphone up here. Later, as we get an open session, you want to ask a question or you want to make a statement or whatever, let's get up there so everybody can hear you speak. Okay, mic's right there, and it is quite loud, so that'll help us out. All right. First off, I'd like to thank all the volunteers from the last board meeting. The day after Friday, we started assembling and installing the structure in the park. And so thank you. A lot of the faces in here I see. We thank you all for helping us out with that. The last board meeting, I mentioned the electric panel in the playground. We have to replace that, and I have the panel is on island now in Hilo, so we're going to go ahead and go with that. It's going to cost about $2,500. The panel itself is a commercial $1,700, but for the previous meetings, everybody, yes, we got to do it, okay, because it's totally rough. So that's going to happen here the next week or two. You might have heard some grumbling about our. We've got. We want secure storage for our files, and we got files coming in from residents that live in associations from previous board periods, and so we got boxes and boxes of stuff. The previous board didn't have any assigned storage, any secure storage. We're going to share there's a locked room out in the garage that Neighborhood Watch has used for the last 10 years for their junk. They've got several refrigerators in there. Anyway, we're gonna share that with Neighborhood Watch and partition off a piece of that just for our buckets of the old documents and old storage until we can get them scanned and get rid of them. We'll be scanning and shredding. A lot of this stuff we don't need anymore. It's old stuff. We did the 30th of May. Burmeister and I think Rod anyway had a lady come from the Bank of Hawaii to just discuss the fact that they own the streets in Leilani. Not Leilani Avenue, but all of our residential streets is owned by the Bank of Hawaii, and their attorneys have, over all the years, finally decided that they don't want that liability. They got to do something. They got to get rid of it. And so it was an interesting meeting. Nothing was determined. She just came, looked, see, talked to people, and headed back to Honolulu to talk to the attorneys back there and figure out what they can do. But they are actually owned by the Bank of Hawaii, and the issue being. First line back to me. And the issue being if a lava tube broke out, or, it's a car moved down in a hole, we don't want to be liable for that either. So we don't want any part of it, is the message we gave her. The website, which everybody hopefully knows now, is the new website is Leilani-estates.org. So if you're going on the web anymore, go to Leilani-estates.org. People are still asking about it, trying to find the website. So and we're printed on everything, so you'll get used to seeing that. There's the county grant, since Greg isn't here. The county's Neighborhood Watch grant. They're still expecting to get some money from the county for that grant to improve the facility here or whatever the parks. They did just get some information from the county on that, saying that the county is going to pay out the money in almost like construction percentage of completion. They want it the safety features first, whatever that means. So which makes sense. So anyway, that sounds like it's going to go forward, and at some point we'll get the LTA, the Neighborhood Watch, will get money to spend to make repairs around here. The pavilion will be the #1 priority. Okay, whenever they get that. I'm done. Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
go ahead.
It's do you want to have the treasurer's report now, or do you want
We should accept the minutes.
Okay. So there's a motion to accept the minutes.
The minutes were The minutes from the last meeting were sent out already to the board, so the board has them. The board's seen them, had a chance to read them. So we just got to say yay or nay if we accept the meeting, the minutes as they were recorded. So yay.
Discussion.
Yay.
Discussion. I don't accept the minutes.
Okay. Now
I made some comments, things I thought were missing out of it. Did you?
okay. But the minutes of a meeting are purely what was done at the meeting, not what was said at the meeting. It's purely what was done at the meeting. So the minutes that were published were exactly that. So there's nothing wrong with the minutes.
So you're choosing not to add an addendum of the objections I made to all those points that everybody was upset about.
Yeah, we didn't add it. Yes.
It was notated that you objected to the motions that were put forward, and I felt that that was enough information. There's a video of the whole, your objections, you spoke at length on your objections, and I felt that that was good enough. So that's, according to Robert's rules, that's what I was following, is make sure that we've got the pertinent information, and that's it. Moving on.
What was done at the meeting. Okay. So the minutes pass. Minutes are accepted.
Okay, so Janice is.
The Vice President Smiley.
I don't really have that much to add at the moment. I mean, thank you.
Okay.
So
Janice. Treasurer report.
Okay.
Treasurer report.
Okay. It's coming along slowly. I want to thank Kimberly. She is now the Dropbox master. Mistress. She has helped me immensely over this last month, getting stuff in and sorting through stuff and trying to find stuff. We're missing a lot. This is just 2024. We're missing receipts for, this is just payables. I haven't even gotten into deposits yet. 25, we're missing batch, and 23, all these are missing. So I've been calling vendors, trying to get backup for stuff. It's slow, but it's coming. Don't have a P&L for you yet because I don't know what's in there yet. We're in decent shape. We have $287,000 in the bank. And the books are still showing 612 in accounts receivable. Last month I had a bad debt of 126,000. I raised that to 138,000. I've been finding more people that sold property, still getting billed. The new person still getting billed. Properties that were sold to the county getting billed. Same people are getting billed. So that's probably going to go up. So we probably only have about 387,000 legitimate money coming in, which isn't a lot. It's showing $2,798 in undeposited funds that I have to talk to the office to attach to invoices. That's money coming there just sitting in limbo. It's not attached to anyone's invoice. And then all our depreciation, everything. Oh. Do you need to sit next to me again?
no. We can all be.
I'm sorry. Okay, so we have 287,000 in the bank. The books, the old books that we've been working on say we have 612,000 of accounts receivable. We do not. We have maybe 375,000 coming in. Okay, a lot of this stuff is carried over from 2008. We have to write that off. There's quite a few people that haven't paid. We have another $2,798 sitting in a suspense account called undeposited funds that have not been attached to someone's payment, someone's invoice that needs to be taken care of. It's going down. It was 49 last month. Our depreciation, everything else is staying the same. Basically working to try to get the information to Common so we can get our taxes done. So that's what I'm working on. And again, I'm just on the accounts payable side, entering information. And then I will start on the deposits, which is going to be a chore because back here in 2019, the supposed audit that we had done wasn't an audit. It was a recommendation on how to keep our books. And it looks like in 2020, we followed it and took copies of the checks that we received and put it with the deposit slip. And then in about halfway through 2021, we just stopped doing that. So we stopped making copies of deposit checks. It's probably that fan blowing right on you, making a sound.
Covenant is who or what?
They're accounting firms.
Just so we all know.
There are accounting firms. CPA firm.
LCA has contracted with.
And they usually do our taxes and they do a little something or other that I have to call and find out what we actually pay them for every month. We have been paying them for a cloud-based QuickBook program. Cost us $2,600 to install and $100 a month, and it's never been logged into. So I've canceled that. Okay. I'm going, probably not. There's a contract signed, but I canceled any further payments to it.
Covenant is a CPA.
Yeah, CPA and Hilo.
And do they provide services for us monthly?
We have some bills on a monthly fee that I have to talk to Rosie about to see what we're actually getting charged for. Because we have three different people. We have three different people.
Later.
Kimberly, I'm not sure if you were here when, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry,
When we were saying that when we'll hold our questions till the end
Oh,
of
I'm
the
so
reports.
sorry.
No, it's okay. I saw you come in late. That's why I mentioned
Okay. So I'm finding a lot of things that we need to cancel, that we pay a lot of money monthly for, that we don't use. Okay? Like ridiculous. You know, the Pitney Bowes machine drives me crazy. Pay $100 a month for it, and we buy $140 worth of stamps a year. So, you know, it's crazy. It's just little waste here, but it's adding up, you know, and it's things we don't need. So that's what I'm trying to find for you. I'm not seeing anything great or fraudulent. I just see rookie mistakes because you need an accountant here. You need someone, not an office manager. She can do the meet and greet, collect the checks, and somebody else. I know we can't afford a property management company because we're too small, but I think you need to get someone qualified in there, even 3 days a week, to collect the stuff, do the payments, keep the books. I brought an example of how the records are kept, and these are how they should be. I wouldn't want to give this to our auditor. I will give that to my auditor because they'll just look at this crap and say, I mean, 2021 is in 25's folders, it's all commingled, it's a mess. And again, Kimberly's been very helpful, helping me sort through all this stuff to try to find things. But again, we're missing a lot. So I'm calling vendors to get copies of things. So it's going to take me a lot longer than I thought it was going to. And I have company coming in, so the next 2 weeks I'm not working on it. It's been 2 months of hell and I need a break. So, thank you.
The secretary's report. I've been working with Brian periodically, our tech guru, trying to improve communications on certain things. I think for myself, I've been focused on trying to get the big pieces in place, and sometimes in between, I don't connect the small things, and I'm hearing feedback from the community on certain things. Committees, for example. You know, we briefly touched on committees the last meeting we had, and I would have liked to spend more time on it, but we didn't have that opportunity. So what I'd like to say is we have a number of committees, a lot committees, CC&R bylaw committees, members list committees, park maintenance committees, election committee, forensic audit prep committee, architectural committee. Some of these have one person, some of these have several people. And what I hope to do is, with Brian's help, get a system in place where if somebody goes to the website and they see a committee they want to be a part of, they'll be connected with me. And then what I do is say, okay, what committee would you like to be connected with? And then I can say, here's the people that are working, or congratulations, you're the first person. And good luck. But so far at this point, it's come kind of willy-nilly, but we are accumulating quite a good amount of people. The CCR bylaw committee is producing a lot of stuff. The park committee is, so far it's Mary Ann, myself, and I believe Michael Pawanio is on that too, is he?
Well, yes, see, and I would like to call it the grounds committee and he's maintenance, but we work in direct conjunction with him.
Okay. All right, so that one I've dug into. The members list committee, we have a number of people working to update that for a variety of reasons, so we can save hopefully a tremendous amount of money when we need to take a vote on something or propose, instead of sending out thousands of dollars in postage to contact people. And we don't even know if we're contacting the right people. A lot of times what we've learned is that, for example, somebody owns a lot here for a number of years, and they sell it, and we're sending messages to the person that sold it several years ago, and we're not getting anywhere. We're not getting the correspondence we need, and we're wasting money. So people have been working diligently on that, starting last year, for the election reasons. So they had kind of a leg up. The architectural committee to my right is, you're ready to accept some help if somebody comes along?
Oh, yeah, we need people, for sure.
Yeah, I have fielded some questions from concerned people that say, hey, there's something going on my street. Is this legal? And we need to have the ability to go and follow up on those things, whether it's somebody having, a camp out on the property, until they build a house, or just get to understand what the problem is and address them. So I'm going to try and work out something with Brian to streamline the process where people can get in touch and get assigned to a committee. The other thing I wanted to see some improvement on was, what the hell was it? My brain cramp. It'll come to me. What we talked about it last night. Do you remember what we were talking about? The other community. Oh. Well, yeah, that was one of the things. It'll come to me in an inopportune moment. But I apologize for that. There was something else that we were trying to coordinate on. And, I know what it was. The YouTube channel. So instead of having Zoom, we have YouTube. And tonight I learned that I can go on YouTube and I can look at anything. But if you want to comment, you may need to sign in, but it is free. There's people now that are watching in, the middle America. They said, I'm going to watch tonight because you told me I can get on it to YouTube, and I'm hoping that they're able to see it and comment if they like. And this is a good resource for me because I can go back and find out what was said here and make notations and so forth. So that's primarily what I'm working on. And we did get a new addition to the flower box. There's a box out here with fruit, a free fruit stand. So if you have fruit you want to contribute, or if you have fruit you want to take, have at it. What is it?
If you're uncertain what the obligations or tasks are for each committee, they're defined on these sheets, of which we have several back here.
Okay, thank you, Jim. So I think that's it for the secretary.
Okay, I want to make a point of order. That means there's a procedural error. You went by the notification approval of the minutes too fast, didn't allow adequate discussion. So sunshine law requirements for public meeting minutes. Minutes must provide a true reflection of the matters discussed at the meeting and the views of the participants. Minutes are required to include the following specific information. Item number 4. Any other information that any member of the board requests be included or reflected in the minutes. So a board member's right to request that specific information be included in the minutes only applies while the meeting is taking place. Thus, during the meeting, a board member can make a request such as, which I did last time, these objections may have future legal repercussions and I request they be an addendum to the minutes. Or, I would like these written remarks included in the minutes verbatim. And the board must honor that request. It goes to state statute HRS 92-9, item 5. Any other information that any member of the board requests be included or reflected in the minutes. I did adequately ask that it be added as an addendum last time. I followed up 2 days later with an email to each board member. I have it provided to you digitally, so it's easier for you to copy and paste. Right at this time, I have to insist that my objections be included as I presented to the board members as an addendum to the minutes.
Well, that's, like I said, I follow Robert's rules, and it's what's done at the meeting, not every single thing that's said. So I feel like
Robert's rules is a guideline, state statute is a law.
Okay.
Okay.
It needs to be added.
So,
It's not even gray area.
no, please, no talking out of, we're not asking questions now. If you want to speak at the mic at the moment that if we open the meeting, you're welcome to, but for now,
State law.
we're trying to roll on.
We'll look into that, but we've got a quorum here and the minutes have been accepted, so we'll move on.
So,
Okay.
what you said, yeah, was a future.
Anybody that wants a copy of the,
First, second, proof, buying. No,
if anybody wants a copy of that, they can come ask us for a copy of it and they'll look at it maybe. Okay.
I have a point of order. I have a point of order. You have to acknowledge it.
Let's open it up for,
No, I have a point of order.
okay, go ahead.
Procedurally, it looks like you and or John are picking the members of the committees. That's not your function. That's not your job.
We're not picking members of the committee.
No.
You announced you had committees. You announced members you have on those committees.
People have come forward and said, I want to be on the committee, and the committees will decide who's gonna run that committee. We don't know who's gonna run that committee. We just know that whoever is the leader of that committee is the one's gonna come here starting next month and give us updates for their committee. That one person.
All I'm saying is, it's 2 or 3 different places.
No.
It's a board decision. It's not a president or a secretary's decision who's on the committees.
It's not a board decision for a committee. We can have any committee we want. Yeah. Okay. Let's go ahead and open it up then. Oh, Marianne.
I am,
Michael asked for her to tell it, to give us.
Michael Hellendiel has a family commitment.
Over there? Oh, thank you. I'm reading Michael Hellendiel's report. Place for my mouth, but I think it's for the recording, isn't it?
No.
Not? Can you all hear me? Okay, thank you.
As you all know, Michael is a maintenance guy that mows the shoulders of the roads and does all the maintenance around here. He just asked us that he wanted to give an update on what he's up to and what he wants, what he's looking for.
Okay, Michael was here last month for the report because it was the 3rd week instead of 2nd. And he has a family obligation every 2nd Thursday of the month. Doesn't mean go and call upon it. Anyway, so I said I'd read his report. Leilani Community Association Parks and Recreation Maintenance Employee, Michael Hellendiel, June 12, 2025 board meeting. Daily duties. List of duties I perform daily soon after I clock in. Clean trash around the park and field. In the parking lot and playground, check empty, change out the trash bins, check bathrooms to ensure they are stocked for daily public use, clean and sanitize surfaces in the bathroom, check an empty dog waste dispenser, clean over hung trees on each street, pick up trash on the street shoulder. I didn't know that. Since the last board meeting, monthly shoulder mowing complete for this month. Sidearm, currently I am Homakai and Lalama Street. As soon as this street is done, I'll spot cut all cane grass areas, then continue to Moko Street and down. Park grounds, I want to send a big mahalo to all the volunteers who came out to help set up the new playground equipment and to all of the volunteers who keep the park grounds nice and clean. I have spread fire ant bait around the playground area. I will be monitoring it and will spread more bait if needed. I will reinstall 2 playground equipment that I removed to make space for the new set as soon as I find a perfect place for it. Request for approval. Attached is a quote for a battery-powered pole saw that I wish to get approval from the board to purchase. It will help with overhanging bushes and trees and branches. Please contact me if you have questions or concerns. Thank you for your time. Have a good evening. Michael Howard.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. I just wanted to add one quick thing. If you do want to sign up for a committee tonight, please come up and we can discuss it. Thank you.
Any new business before we move on to open session? New business, okay. The committee list is back there. We need anybody and everybody to help us out and populate those committees because there's just a ton of work to do. All right. Thank you very much. Any questions? Go ahead. Oh, go ahead.
Hey, Wilson, and I've got a question. The auditors, the treasurer, obviously having difficulty with all the mess, and I'm wondering what the time frame might be for not trying to press you, but what the time frame might be for when the audit of whatever type it's going to be will be started.
Initiated.
Depends when I can find all the information. This is the box of stuff. These are our records in the building. I want to give them to an auditor. Those are the ones that I've already finished and done. Those would I give to an auditor. Using handwriting, they commingle.
Can I was just wondering, could you put a list of people who might want to go through records and try and collate and get that information?
If we can get someone that can help scan.
No, I'm talking about, you've got a list of committees. How about a committee to assist in organizing?
That's here. It's the
Okay.
In the member list. So basically
the
that's it.
forensic audit prep committee.
Mhm.
Good evening, everyone. Mark, how are you?
Hey, Mark.
Hello.
There's several issues I want to bring up. And the first one is the bathroom back in the day was always made for records. And I think we need to get back into that status and just keep that room only for records. In the future, we should get those refrigerators out of there. Maybe find some other location, either in the first bay, or probably we can try to see if we can get it into the back where we used to have a certain room back on where the traffic is at. The second issue is when people uses the facility, they have to sign a contract, right? There's a contract you gotta sign. And it's $200. And one of the issues that I get is if you're gonna use whether this facility or the pavilion, and you have food involved, you need to take your trash. Yeah, it's listed in the contract. And back in the day, I was in charge of that. I made sure that people have parties, events, that when they would shut down, and I made sure everything was put away. They took the trash. If they didn't take the trash, I made sure they did take the trash.
You were there to make sure they did it?
Correct. The third issue is, back in 2020, everything happened from 2018, 19, we went right into COVID. And I wanted to put speed humps on Kahukai Street. I had made a proposal. At that time, the bid that I got was 16,000. Today I tried to look for a price on that, and there was 8 speed humps on Kahukai Street from about where I live and right down to my Moki Street. Only because it's a straight shot. Back in the day when this road was going through, people used to use this road as a raceway, and they still do it.
I hear them at night.
So I got 8 speed humps that I want to put in from my end, eventually come down to Moki Street. Today, the price is 19 grand. Yeah, for 8 speed humps. Plus, with the contractors' machinery, labor costs, signs, signposts. Anyway, that's all I have.
Thanks, Mark.
Mark, put stop signs.
Yeah.
Come on.
Okay. Hi, Robert.
Hello, my name is Robert Golden, and appreciate that we're now having regular monthly board meetings. I appreciate you sitting there. I sat there. I know what it's like. It's not fun. And just a few suggestions. When we were on the board, we actually did inquire at looking at private management companies. And I suggest that you present this research to the community, and in fact, have the community vote on it, because it'll affect their assessments.
Gonna go up.
Well, I'm not right, because that doesn't happen, but there are certain advantages of having a private management company coming here and running things. For you people to volunteer all the time it takes, and I know what it takes, it's almost insufferable. And I just think it's something that you look at, professional managers coming here, and it might reduce some of the acrimony in this community, because we have a neutral third party running Leilani. Along those lines, I have a suggestion that you publish an agenda. Before, agendas used to be sent out for meetings to residents, email agendas. And I'm assuming they're posted on the website. It's a way of inviting people and encouraging them to come. A topic for perhaps further conversation is, I believe, it's either the LCA or the other group the watch group received $450,000. Am I correct with that number? Where is that money? Has there been any discussion of how money's going to be spent?
Emergencies first. It'll be allocated as the need is met for each project, correct?
Yeah, the top priority, safety.
Yeah.
Right, but has anything like the discussion of like?
No, there is a clear set of tasks that each one of those tasks has a dollar amount attached to it.
Right.
There's no deviation from that, and the pavilion, the railing, there's a lot of things that are in that, but there's a task list.
Oh, I mean, where's that available?
You can ask Greg or reach out to him or watch a copy of it.
Okay, great.
Can it go on the website?
Okay.
It's not an LCA thing, so.
Oh, okay. And finally,
Right.
And your refrigerators?
Robert speaking,
I'm sorry.
this is a bigger topic, but, you know, many of us, who have served, since the lava eruption, face traumatic, all of us face traumatic experiences here. And I believe we have to heal from that. And I believe that there are people out there who have the expertise and ability to come here and to help heal this community. I think this is a step forward now, we're making progress, but I suggest that we have a meeting in the future in the pavilion where, and we have facilitators here to help heal some of the deep hurt that's in this community, and not to just paper it over and let time go by. So that's my suggestion.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Tom Mason, and let's see, I think my comment falls under continuing education. So what I've noticed is that most of the community seems to have difficulty reading the financial reports. And so I would like to establish a small class, maybe couple hours, that would explain financial reports. Really not difficult. Those that are familiar with it know it's not that difficult, but it can be done. And it could take an hour or 2 hours. I will provide coffee, donuts, cookies, hamburger if I can get you there at $5 McDonald's.
Donald, could it be you too, so we all could watch it and rewatch it?
That sounds good. Yeah, excellent. So I think financial reports and Robert's Rules of Order, I think those things are not difficult, but somehow we just kind of stumble over them a little bit. So I've got some easy handouts. We can have a nice discussion, and then people can understand our financials. Thank you.
Thanks, Tom.
Thanks, Tom.
I don't know whether you go twice. This is a real quick. If we have a stumbling block with minutes, could we not agree that the video record from YouTube are exquisite minutes?
Right.
Any verbiage that comes out of YouTube is going to be much more detailed than what's on paper, than what anybody's going to want to read. So if we could have an affirmation that we don't have to fiddle twaddle with the minute, I think it might solve some problems.
I agree.
Somebody want to make a motion to vote on that?
I make a motion.
And just,
Why not?
but it's gonna be on there anyway, right? Okay. A motion's been made to vote on that in the sense that we use the YouTube video as our documentation above and beyond the minutes that we put out from our weekly meeting, our monthly meeting. Okay? Yay or nay, huh?
Is it not true that YouTube can have a closed caption written part of what's spoken, so that it will be provided?
If you click on the closed caption button on the YouTube, it comes up.
If you remember, like in the last meeting, there is 6 microphones up here right now. So when it got pretty contentious, there's a lot of words that are going. So I don't know if they would do a good job of capturing that in the voice.
For that last meeting, but as we proceed,
Yeah, it
as
should be.
civil people, we can understand what it's like to
Okay.
record our.
Well, let's try it. Let's vote. Let's vote. Let's try. Hold on, one more.
Make sure you include other forms of video, like if somebody's video and a board meeting, use a sign, a video, record a board meeting, like annual meeting. Don't forget that. You know, YouTube, Zoom, that.
All of the meetings.
All forms of meeting recordings.
Yeah, if we can get them, sure. So take a vote, yay or nay.
Point of order?
Yes.
Point of order. This is a board of directors meeting. The community does not make motions, they do not make seconds, and they do not vote, but they can participate in discussion.
John made a motion.
I didn't hear what the exact motion was. Could you state it?
Pete Wilson, actually.
Can we have the board?
I do not, people talk about various options on this.
Okay.
I don't know if I got the full story.
So from what I understand, the motion is to, instead of relying on minutes, that we can also use the YouTube video or Zoom, or if there's other people in the sense where we have a larger meeting, like an annual members meeting, and numerous people are trying to capture what's going on to actually film the amount of people for quorum purposes, that could be used to document the business dealings of the LCA.
If we start getting into all the different people filming different perspectives and different things, we got a mess.
Yeah.
We have an official record of this meeting that's being kept because we're recording it, we're being civil, it's going out over YouTube. We need to settle on one single official video record so that there isn't a discrepancy and there aren't people saying this one versus this one or that one versus that one and this and that and the other thing. So if you want to make a motion that says our official video record will be a detailed record of the meeting, we will publish minutes that summarize that official detail. I can support that. If you want to expand this to being all sorts of different people, video, different things, where we don't have control over the sources, I would be against that motion.
I agree with that.
I support that. I think that's right. One thing, I think we still need written minutes. You're talking about a supplement to the minutes, right? That's fair.
No. Minutes are just what was done at the board. So make a motion. Go ahead, vote on it.
Yeah, I know.
Let's roll.
What's that? Let's vote on it.
Yeah.
No.
Yep.
Okay.
So the motion been made.
Well, I'm just saying that if you just pick YouTube and not Zoom or not the designated person recording at the annual meeting, then you're excluding that. You need to make sure you're including, if you're gonna have an annual meeting and you're gonna have somebody that's recording that's not YouTube and they're the designated recorder, you need to include that in your motion.
How about the person who is our technical person
Was that recorded? Everything, at the annual meeting?
Not yet.
I know we're talking about from here on out,
Yeah.
If Brian is willing to undertake that role as the official recorder of the members meeting.
Just don't forget, that we have used other means and we should.
It's your concern about picking a specific media. The easy way to do it is to say the official electronic record endorsed for the meeting shall be
YouTube.
minutes.
Yes.
The written summary of that meeting will therefore also be published as a membership.
Because somebody's gonna try and use that, they're not like, oh, that's not on YouTube. They're right, it doesn't count.
Yeah.
If I could add to that a little bit more, so I think this is reasonable, but we just had conversations with people in the audience, and you can hear those on there, but you can't see it. I think we need to enhance our system to do this, so we do the audience too at the same time, so we can see the people who are asking questions if your discussion goes on, and here too. So we could have two cameras, do a split screen.
Sure. Sure.
So go ahead, make a motion.
So motion to adopt the idea of having an official video of the board meeting where it captures not only the board members, but the speakers proposing questions and so forth to document the actual minutes. To support the document.
And have Brian investigate.
We second that.
I agree, yeah, okay.
So vote.
That's all, I'm for it.
Show of hands, yay.
Okay, good pass. Jim, did you want to say something?
I do, thank you. Different topic. When Janice gave her report, she used, I think, the word missing. This box is all the missing documents.
Oh, just one of the boxes.
Just one box, but several items in there, and you have a list of all of the missing, and I presume, but I'm asking for clarification, missing means there's no receipts.
Yeah, a lot of them are things that we pay online that weren't printed out once we made the transaction online. So I'm asking for that, to get some of those.
And here you.
Can't hear me? Jesus, that's not usually my problem. And like little things like this, oh, it's not in there. I have a $32,000 check with no invoice with it. It's one of the attorney fees, but
So my question is, at least for everybody here, as far as you're concerned, as a treasurer, if anyone expects to be paid, they have to provide an invoice and or receipt.
Oh,
or there will be
absolutely.
no check cut.
yeah,
That's all.
no reimbursements without receipts or anything like that. This is a business and it needs to be run as a business.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Just gotta yell.
Hi, Caroline Segala. Can you
Not
hear me?
working.
Oh,
Gotta unplug it.
you gotta yell.
Turn it off. Feedback online, so people can't hear online, so I just turned it off. Okay, right
Oh,
now.
so now
Good
you're-
job.
Do you have a small microphone for us?
It's right there.
Just touch up.
Okay,
It's on
sorry.
the microphone.
Okay, Caroline Segala. Back on April 5th, during the members meeting, I had made a really simple motion, and I think Tom kind of touched on this tonight, but it's evident that there's some disagreement on the way that a meeting is conducted. I had suggested that the board have some type of training in Robert's Rules of Order, Sunshine Law, etc. When I used to work for municipality, there would be somebody, could be a lawyer student, somebody that would come in and just do a quick seminar with you and just teach you like the ins and outs of it. And then maybe then you have documentation that you keep and then it carries on to the next board. I think it would be helpful to have that. And then we can also understand and be assured that, everything's being followed according to the way it's supposed to be.
Thank you.
That's something we could do at the next monthly meeting, is bring somebody in that can discuss it.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
So I have a couple of quick questions. There was nothing at the county's KE plant program update from last
Not
month?
yet.
Okay. With the report you've given, how you're going through the financials, I noticed that the cry for the forensic audit has died off since the meeting.
I'm getting it ready, so if they had to go through all these boxes the way they were in with everything commingled, it would cost us a fortune.
Yeah, that was.
So I'm trying to get it nice and neat so they can pull a file and what's supposed to be in that file is in
Yeah,
there.
that was the second part of the question, is there, or what you're doing to make it faster, because
Yeah.
when it was talked about, it was pretty expensive to do a forensic audit versus.
No,
what we're
it
doing
would be, it's going to be immensely cheaper.
Michael, hello. Hello. Rich, quick question, who and where brought files from their house back to the community center here, from the previous boards? We don't know.
No.
We're
not gonna share that.
Okay.
So we only need 7 years.
7 years.
Michael, what was that question? Again?
Well, when we got to talking about the secure file storage, the need for it, that there were previous boards that were bringing files back, boxes of files back from their homes. So that's a previous board that secured things at their home for whatever reason.
Can I speak to that?
Yeah.
There was a situation in the past before I was even a board member where somebody who lived in the community for a very long time wasn't a board member. They just kept fastidious records on everything, from speed bumps to grants to dog problems, you name it.
So this isn't.
Okay, so it was boxes and boxes and boxes of records, and they gave them to somebody they trusted when they moved. That person eventually moved, and they gave it to the care of us. so we can learn. So it's not always an illicit, where do these files come from? It could just be somebody.
Well, there
who
were
is-
allegations in the last
Yeah.
one, so I just wanted to make sure there wasn't our
Yeah,
financials.
I don't know what the person, who the person is, I don't know, but I do know that that has happened before, and it's been a great benefit to people who are stepping into this role to learn what the hell, to expect or what's going on,
How many file cabinets are we talking?
Huh?
How many file cabinets are we talking?
File cabinets?
Of documents.
We're talking about just boxes and boxes. I don't know.
Boxes of stuff.
We don't know.
I don't know.
We don't know. There's boxes out here where the tractors are just on the shelves out here, so all that's gonna be pulled into one place.
We should work together to keep all of this, contained,
We're-
where it's here, and we
Can
still
you come
run
up?
neighborhood watch.
We're gonna, yeah.
Please.
Would that be an accounts receivable?
No.
Stacy Welch, VP of Neighborhood Watch. We are trying to do the best for the community, and we do want secure documents, and we want to make sure that we have the storage for both places. But we're struggling because we do need the refrigerator space that is,
There's 2 refrigerators in that room.
we need 3.
If you look in the door at any time, all is in there is water and sodas, being refrigerated month in and month out for what, one bingo night and one garage sale.
I'm not.
You don't need to refrigerate
I'm not
water.
gonna argue with you because there's
Okay.
different things going on with
Right.
the garage sale and produce coming in and different things.
Okay.
So maybe we need to get together and discuss
Right,
that.
totally.
I live off grid, I can't store stuff all the time for long periods of time without using other people's homes, which I can't always get in touch with. But we want to work together and make sure we both have space and secure storage for the documents, which are important, but also we want to still continue the neighborhood watch and make sure that we are providing stuff.
Sure.
Well,
Yeah, not a problem.
eventually, all the older files are gonna get scanned into the Dropbox,
Correct.
and we can
Correct.
shred them and get rid of them.
Technology is gonna evolve, but we still have to make space for
Yeah.
both things. to keep
And there
going.
may not be anything really, we may not use everything that's in those boxes too, so.
It just takes time, I understand.
I know.
Paperwork, but we really want to work together
I
and
don't-
make
yeah.
space, and if I had 10,000 spare, garage and 10 refrigerators, I'd say, bring it over, but I don't. So,
Right.
let's work together
Yeah,
and
no problem.
get this together. So sorry.
No,
Aloha.
Thank you.
Just have a quick question, I got here a little late. Did we talk about the park?
Hold on.
Has that already been discussed and is it?
The what?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Discussion on the grant.
Microphones are on.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
so
okay.
did we talk about the park grant at all? Because it sounds like it's a done deal.
There was no real in-depth update that I heard. It's just that they had restructured the way that they're going to pay Leilani in smaller increments for the most important things first. I think it was stated. I have.
Okay, is there a document that
On
tells us
Neighborhood
about the park grant
Neighborhood
on
Watch.
the website?
On Neighborhood Watch website.
Oh, on Neighborhood Watch.
Who knows?
Can we put it on our website?
Yeah.
Oh, can we put it on the website?
We'd have to we just have to get Greg to agree to it, because it is a neighborhood watch document. It's not,
The park grant
Not
is a
okay.
neighborhood watch.
yeah, not that they're gonna say how the money's spent ultimately, but it's their grant.
Okay, I thought it was.
Mistress of the Dropbox.
Mike's off.
Kimberly, mistress of the Dropbox.
Hi.
I want to thank Janice in any number of ways, including over my volunteering over 80 hours since our last meeting.
Thank you.
To be in her presence and her fastidiousness and her ethics around simply trying to create an example of where we can move forward with regard to paperwork versus bookkeeping. Okay, different topic. I want to know what the nomination process is for the next board of directors. I want to know how we can create, or what is the process for nominating board members? When is our next general meeting to elect board members? And
how do we know who has paid them?
But we're hoping to be able to get back on schedule, per our bylaws and have the election in January. That's the date. And so before then, we will have nominations for board of directors. And at the same time, we've got a committee working on we want to be electronically voting. We don't want somebody from here managing the vote.
So can I have a date of the January meeting where we will elect the new board?
Fourth
What's
Monday.
that date?
It's like around the 27th, I
Can
think.
we just get cell phones started with us?
It's the fourth.
Our bylaws, but we have to move and record. So I just want to, for this minutes, just in a civil way, record what we believe as community members and paying dues. When is the January meeting where we vote for a new board?
You're gonna be.
Fourth Monday would be January
24th.
January 24th will be the
26th
next.
or 24th. The 24th is a Saturday. We're gonna vote on a Saturday.
Yes.
January 24th, 2026.
Oh,
It's Monday.
Oh, it's a Monday now. Okay, so it's gonna be, oh, it's a Monday. So it's gonna be
26th.
January the 26th when we vote. That means to say that we have received ballots and we have nominations.
That's true.
When is that gonna happen? When are the nominations due?
We don't know right now. Sitting here today, we don't know.
The bylaws state specifically nominations have to be in by December 31st of the previous year.
December 31st of 2025 is when the nominations.
For the 2026 board, it says that specifically.
Are those
There's
bylaws?
not, I think they thought that there wasn't enough time between that date and the fourth Monday in January date. 1971, there was an amendment that was passed that moved it to second or third Saturday in March. I forget which one. And if you look at the history of all our elections since 1971, none of them have been in January. I think we should pick
Bylaws
March.
say they are to be in January, so
We have an amendment. There was an amendment passed to the bylaws that changed it to March in 1971.
So when is our general election gonna be?
Well, ultimately, it'll be what they decide, what
January
the
24th.
board decides, so.
January 26th?
So,
Excuse me.
I guess
We're hoping to be electronically voting, online voting this time, which will eliminate a lot of the.
can we get ballots out with the proper notification and everything else in 4 weeks?
We could send them out in
We're still trying to
mid-November.
hope to do online voting, which is gonna take some changes to our committee.
We will still have to mail some, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
Not everyone will be online, so
Yeah.
4 weeks out.
Obviously, guys, the bylaws haven't been adjusted in a really long time. They were written in 1969 with the assumption that everybody was gonna live in Leilani and everything we did was gonna be in person down here in this building. Okay? That's how the bylaws are written. The timings are set up that way. The communications mechanisms are set up that way. The notifications are set up that way. It's all under the assumption that we're all here, and we're all gonna vote in person. That's how it actually reads. In the 70s, the notifications could go out by telegram or by airmail. In the 70s, they looked at adding write-in voting into the whole process. They passed that by vote, but they never enshrined it in the bylaws legally. So one could argue that write-in voting isn't really legal today, even though we all accept it, okay? As the first step that we're looking at in playing with the bylaws, this is simple modernization and a realization that the world has changed, right? We're now in an electronic world. We can communicate a lot quicker with each other. We can do a lot of things that will enable broader communication and broader participation as a community in the decisions that are being made for our community. All right. So there are proposals being written that don't change a whole lot of the substance of the bylaws, but change our ability to communicate with each other, in that there are some slight adjustments to some of the timings. This will all go out to a vote to the membership to accept or reject, all right? Some of the things we're looking at is moving the nomination process a little bit forward, because if we're gonna involve a third-party company, we wanna have the nominations in time to provide to the company for them to get them printed and get it out to everybody and still get it back by the time frame in January. We chose at this point to leave the January election in place because we have a fiscal year that ends March 1st, right? That gives the previous board the time to prepare a budget, have an election, enshrine a new board, the new board to look at, modify, and approve that budget, because all of our assessments are supposed to be based on a budget. It's not just a number that they pick out of the air. By bylaw, there has to be a budget produced every year that says, this is what we're going to spend your money on, and therefore, this is how much you owe. It's written quite clearly in there. So the timing has to fit with our fiscal year, with what can physically be done, because we know we're going to have to still do a lot of paper, and what can be done electronically, and what can be done to make sure that as many people as possible can participate. We anticipate being able to get this out to the membership sometime in the next month or two. It will take a vote of 10% of the membership forming a quorum to pass or reject the changes we'd like to make. They're pretty straightforward, and they ought to save us a bunch of money. And I think you guys will be pleased when you look at them. It's a lot of detailed stuff, because you got to dig into a lot of the different paragraphs, because all these things interlock. As you know, when the lawyers wrote it in the first place in the 60s, you know how lawyers are. So I understand your questions. The dates right now are a little bit fluid, because we're trying to play with it in order to make it more efficient and more cost effective and more inclusive of the membership.
Thank you, Jim.
Comment?
Okay.
Richard?
Oh,
I
hold on.
think maybe there's some misinformation. Bylaws were legally changed. They were changed like 4 times on the date of the annual membership meeting. 2 of them weren't done accordingly, but the last one, which takes us to March for the annual membership meeting, is the one that's on record. So if you want to change it to January, I think you're going to have to go through and do a bylaw change to take it back to there. However, it is mentioned in a legal lawsuit, and it may be coming up in the courts. And the courts then might be the ones who end up deciding that. As far as being enshrined, there's no requirements. It's actually spelled out in our governance documents that we don't have to take bylaw amendments and have them enshrined in the office of the registrar. So we are okay the way we are.
They can be published as amendments, as an addendum to the bylaws, so. They just have to be published, that's all that has to be done. That's the only, they don't have to be recorded. That's just
What about the Bureau of Conveyance?
And you are right, because the financial thing does seem to match up, although it's actually April 1st. So, you know, the election is normally mid-March, and the end of the fiscal year is the end of March. So that's how it works out. So the previous board is still active at that time, and then you got then you can switch over.
You can't get the assessment out to people with sufficient lead time.
Not at all. The whole board.
The assessments, need to go out before March, I think.
Right.
Yeah,
That's why you set up that it would have to be. I'm just talking about, hey, the bill, the dues go out a year prior. I've always had a year to pay my damn dues. Okay. And that gets me ready for, if I get 2025 dues in March or whenever they go out, I got a whole year to pay them to be ready for the 2026 annual board meeting. It gives everybody time. They still get their
You do your nominations at the end of the year. These guys try to rush everybody into paying dues within a very small time frame this last year. And that's not the way we've ever done it.
Okay, it may not be the way we've done it, but actually according to the bylaws, they are correct. There is a period after which you are to put on your dues and can be charged interest. There's a period that they can then notify you in writing that your voting rights have been.
But we've always had a year to do it. If you went over the annual meeting,
That's not what bylaws say.
well, you're not gonna be able to get everybody's participation if you don't get them those times.
You don't need that.
We know when the dues are supposed to be spent in, it's not a regular, we're adults, we know when it's here.
Well, this last year, they basically gave us how many weeks? Like 4 weeks, 3 weeks, something like that?
How long do you have to pay your power bill? How long do you have to pay your power bill? A year
This is
or 30 days?
It's an HOA.
Yes. And it's a business, as I just heard earlier today.
There's people have their hands up, but they gotta come up. Oh, you want to-
So, thank you for coming this evening, and, good meeting, a lot of notes here. No, let's go. Say again.
The next meeting?
Second Thursday of next month, so I don't know the date, no. All right, so meeting's adjourned. Thank you so much.
Easiest thing.